The skies above Katoro were a soft green that evening, the twin suns dipping behind the jagged cliffs. Farmers were packing away their tools, traders were locking their market stalls, and children were laughing as they chased each other through the glowing crystal streets. Then the alarm began to sound. High above the colony, black shapes tore through the clouds. Pirate raiders, sleek ships with jagged paint and open weapons bays, descended on the peaceful settlement. They fired warning shots into the air, shattering rooftops and forcing the Vereen people to run for cover. Governor Selka stood on the balcony of the administration tower, her claws gripping the railing. "No," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Not again." The Vereen were a gentle species. They had no soldiers, no fleets, no great weapons. They were traders, farmers, and healers, and easy prey. "Send the signal," Selka ordered. Her staff moved quickly, activating the colony's long-range transmitter. A beam of light shot into the sky, carrying a simple message. "This is Katoro. We are under attack. Request immediate aid." They sent it on every frequency. The message went to the Galactic Council, to nearby trade stations, to anyone who might be listening. Then they waited. The pirates landed, metal doors crashed open, and armored raiders poured out. They rounded up civilians taking food, tools, and technology. Any who resisted were shoved aside. The Vereen had no way to stop them. They could only pray that someone heard their call. Hours passed. Far across the stars, in the harsh system of Alpha Prime, a very different group of beings heard the distress signal. Inside the command deck of the patrol ship Iron Fang, Captain Elias Rourke stood with his arms crossed, his scarred face lit by the glow of the screen. The message repeated over and over. His first officer, a tall woman named Cora, frowned. "That's Vereen space. Isn't that a council sector?" "It is," Rourke said. "And it sounds like their fancy peacekeepers aren't answering." Cora hesitated. "You know what the council thinks of us. If we interfere," Rourke's mouth curved into a half-smile, "then they can file their complaints later. Right now, people are screaming for help." He turned to the crew. "Set course for Katoro. Maximum burn." The Iron Fang jumped to FTL. Back on Katoro, the pirates returned for a second raid, emboldened by the lack of resistance. This time they were more aggressive. They began rounding up hostages, children and elders first, to take with them when they left. Governor Selka felt her hope slipping away. "No one is coming," she murmured, clutching the edge of the console. But then the sky tore open. A flash of blue-white light lit up the horizon as a ship dropped out of FTL. A heavy, battle-scarred craft with the red and black markings of Alpha Prime. The pirates froze. The ship's comms boomed across the settlement. "Attention raiders. This is Captain Elias Rourke of Alpha Patrol. You are trespassing in protected space and attacking civilians. You have one chance to leave. Refuse and we will remove you." The pirates laughed over their own comms, mocking the message. "One ship?" Their leader sneered. "We'll take it apart and sell it for scrap." The Iron Fang did not wait for a second response. Its guns lit up the sky, firing precise shots that disabled the pirate landing craft without harming the hostages inside. Explosions rocked the ground, sending the raiders scrambling. Governor Selka watched in awe as the humans deployed drop pods. Soldiers in black armor hit the ground running, moving with terrifying speed and perfect coordination. They didn't hesitate, didn't stop. They cut through the pirates' lines with a mix of stunning weapons and hand-to-hand combat. The Vereen had always thought of humans as wild, dangerous beings, survivors from a world where even the plants could kill you. Seeing them fight now, Selka understood why the galaxy called them Deathworlders. But they were saving her people. Within minutes, the pirates were forced to retreat, dragging their wounded back to their ship. The human patrol didn't pursue them yet. They were too busy freeing the captured civilians and helping the Vereen to safety. Selka hurried to meet Captain Rourke as he stepped out of his drop pod. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a hard expression but calm eyes. "You came," she said, still breathless. "Someone had to," Rourke replied simply. She looked at him carefully. "The council?" "They will not be pleased you interfered." Rourke shrugged. "The council can wait." "You needed help," so Alpha answered. But this was only the beginning. As the humans secured the settlement, Sensors on the Iron Fang detected more pirate ships gathering at the edge of the system, a full fleet, preparing to strike back. Cora's voice came over the comm. "Captain, we've got company. And a lot of it." Rourke's jaw tightened. "Good, let them come," he turned to Selka. "This isn't over. They'll be back. And when they are, we'll be ready." Selka felt a strange mix of fear and relief. The humans were dangerous, yes, but maybe that was what Katoro needed. For the first time since the attacks began, hope stirred in her heart. Night had fallen on Katoro, but there was no peace. The sky glowed with the light of distant engines as the pirate fleet gathered beyond the atmosphere. Their ships were bigger than before, and there were more of them, warships, freighters, and fast raiders ready to strike. On the ground, Captain Elias Rourke stood in the middle of the Virene colony's command center, reviewing the holographic map. The Iron Fang floated in high orbit, its weapons hot and shields at full strength. "They're coming in fast." Cora's voice crackled over comms from the ship. 4 main assault ships, 8 raiders plus 1 flagship. "They want revenge." Rourke's jaw tightened. "Good. We'll make sure they regret coming back." Governor Selka stood nearby, clearly nervous. "You really intend to fight them all?" "There are too many." Rourke looked at her, calm but unyielding. "Numbers don't win battles. Planning does. And we've got that covered." Preparing the trap, the humans moved quickly. They placed portable shield generators around the colony, creating a protective barrier. Heavy cannons were set up on rooftops, their operators checking targeting systems. Engineers from the Iron Fang worked side by side with Virene volunteers, teaching them how to activate alarms and guide civilians to safe zones. Selka was impressed by how disciplined the humans were. They were not reckless, as she had once feared. They were precise. Every soldier had a job. Every move had a purpose. "Why are you helping us so much?" she finally asked Rourke. "Your people are known for surviving alone. Why risk yourselves for us?" Rourke adjusted his rifle and gave her a small grin. "Because no one else would. And because if someone comes after us one day, we'd want someone to stand with us too." Those words stayed with Selka. The battle begins at dawn. The pirate fleet dropped out of orbit. The ground shook as their landing craft descended. The first shots were theirs, but this time Katoro did not run. The shield barrier flared as enemy fire struck it, holding strong. Then the humans answered. From the rooftops, cannons roared. The Iron Fang opened fire from orbit, disabling 2 raiders before they could even land. "Push them back." Rourke's voice boomed across the comm. His soldiers moved like shadows, striking fast and then vanishing behind cover. They used smoke screens, electronic jammers, and even sonic devices to confuse the enemy. Pirates stumbled through the haze, unsure where to aim. The Virene watched in awe. They had never seen such controlled chaos. It was like watching a storm that obeyed orders. Into the fire. But then a desperate message came through the comm. "Captain, they've taken hostages aboard their flagship, including Governor Selka's advisor." Rourke swore under his breath. If the pirates escaped with the hostages, they could use them to force the colony to surrender later. "I'm going up there," he said immediately. Selka stepped forward in alarm. "You cannot." "It's too dangerous." Rourke's expression hardened. "I don't leave my people behind, Muir, and right now your people are my people." He gathered a boarding team of 6 soldiers. Moments later, a small shuttle launched from Katoro and shot into orbit toward the pirate flagship. Boarding the flagship, the shuttle dodged enemy fire, darting through space until it latched onto the pirate ship's hull. The humans cut through the airlock and stormed inside. The corridors were dark, lit only by red emergency lights. Pirates rushed to stop them, but the humans were relentless. They fought with stunning rifles and close-quarters weapons, knocking enemies aside as they advanced deeper into the ship. Rourke led from the front. His presence was commanding, his voice steady over the comms. "Stay tight. We're getting those hostages out." They reached the cargo hold where the hostages were being held. The pirates had surrounded them, using them as shields. "Drop your weapons," the pirate captain barked. Rourke stepped forward. "Let them go and you can leave this system alive." The pirate laughed. "You think one Deathworlder scares us?" Rourke's eyes narrowed. "No, but the rest of my fleet should." At that moment, the Iron Fang decloaked right outside the flagship's viewports, its cannons fully charged. The pirate captain froze. "You have 1 minute to decide," Rourke said quietly. The pirates threw down their weapons. The hostages were freed and loaded onto the shuttle. But before leaving, Rourke turned to the pirate captain. "This ends today. You don't come back here. You don't touch these people again. You take your fleet and disappear. If I hear you raiding anyone else, Alpha will find you. And next time we won't be so generous." The pirate captain nodded quickly. The humans returned to Katoro with the rescued hostages. When the colonists saw them step off the shuttle, cheers erupted. Selka rushed forward, embracing her advisor and then turning to Rourke. "You did it," she whispered, still amazed. Rourke gave a tired smile. "Not yet. We still have to make sure they leave the system." The departure of the pirates under threat of the Iron Fang's guns, the pirate fleet slowly turned and jumped out of the system. The skies grew quiet once more, but victory came with a price. The shields were damaged, several homes were destroyed, and many of the humans were wounded. Selka walked through the colony with Rourke, watching his soldiers help rebuild what was broken. "You could have destroyed them," she said softly. "Why let them go?" "Because fear doesn't last forever," Rourke replied. "But a promise does. They know we're watching now. They'll think twice before they hurt anyone again." Selka looked at him thoughtfully. For the first time she felt not just gratitude but respect. Cliffhanger as the colony celebrated. A new transmission came through, not from pirates, but from the Galactic Council. "This is Council Command. Captain Elias Rourke, report to a tribunal immediately. You have violated Council protocol by interfering in restricted space." Selka's eyes widened. "They want to punish you?" Rourke sighed. "Looks like it, but I'd do it all again." He looked out at the stars, knowing the fight wasn't over. Not with the Council. The stars of Katoro still glowed softly overhead, but the celebration was cut short. The message from the Galactic Council repeated over and over, cold and formal. "Captain Elias Rourke, you are ordered to report immediately for tribunal review. You are charged with unlawful military action in Council-protected space." The colonists had gathered in the square, the happiness of victory fading into worry. Governor Selka turned to Rourke. "They should be thanking you, not accusing you." Rourke only gave a small shrug. "The Council doesn't like it when Deathworlders take action without their permission. They think we're too dangerous." Cora came up beside him, her helmet tucked under her arm. "Captain, you don't have to go. We can ignore them." Rourke shook his head. "No. If we don't stand before them, they'll use it as proof that we can't be trusted. And if they ban Alpha from Council space, the next colony under attack will be alone." Selka stepped forward. "Then we will go with you. The Council must hear what happened from those who were saved." The journey to the Council 2 days later, the Iron Fang jumped through hyperspace and arrived at the Council station, a massive, shining ring that floated in the blackness of space. Ships from 100 worlds orbited around it, each bearing the colors of their home species. Rourke and his boarding party stepped off the ship in full uniform. They walked through the station's grand halls, drawing uneasy looks from passing diplomats. Humans from Alpha had a reputation, and everyone had heard about what happened on Katoro. In the council chamber, rows of alien representatives sat in a circle, their eyes focused on Rourke as he entered. The council speaker, a tall and silver-skinned being, raised a hand. "Captain Elias Rourke, you are accused of breaking protocol and using military force without permission. How do you plead?" "Guilty," Rourke said simply. A wave of murmurs passed through the chamber. The debate work did not stop there. He stepped into the center of the chamber, meeting the speaker's eyes. "Yes, I broke your rules," he said, "but I did it because people were dying while the council debated paperwork. The Vereen colony called for help. No one came, except us. If I had waited for your approval, there would be no colony left to save." The speaker's voice was calm but sharp. "Order must be kept. If every species took justice into their own hands, there would be chaos." Rourke's voice grew harder. "Sometimes order means standing by and doing nothing. Alpha doesn't do nothing. We survive, and when someone calls for help, we answer." The Vereen Testify Governor Selka stood from her place among the observers and stepped forward. Her voice was strong, even though she was not used to speaking in such a vast chamber. "The humans of Alpha saved us," she said. "Without them, my people would be slaves or worse. The Council has rules, but rules mean nothing if they do not protect those who follow them. If Captain Rourke is punished, then punish us as well because we stand with him." The chamber filled with surprised whispers. The Vereen were known as a peaceful and cautious species. For them to take such a bold stance shocked many. One by one, other voices joined in. A trader from a nearby system spoke of pirate raids he had seen. A medical envoy described how Alpha soldiers had once saved her ship from a meteor strike. Slowly, the opinion in the chamber began to shift. The verdict after hours of debate, the speaker called for silence. The council recognizes that Captain Rourke's actions saved innocent lives, the speaker announced. Though his methods were not authorized, we acknowledge that the peacekeepers were too slow to respond. Therefore, no punishment will be given. Instead, we formally recognize Alpha Prime as an emergency response partner in frontier space. Cheers broke out from the Vereen delegation. Even some of the other council members clapped their hands, claws, or wings. Rourke allowed himself a small smile. So next time, he said, when someone calls for help, Alpha won't need permission to answer? The speaker gave a slow nod. Next time, you will be called first. The return to Ka-Toro. When the Iron Fang returned to Ka-Toro, the entire colony gathered to greet them. The shields had been repaired, the homes rebuilt, and new defenses installed with human technology. Selka met Rourke at the landing pad. You have changed our world, she told him. We are no longer afraid. We are ready to defend ourselves. And with Alpha as our ally, no one will dare attack us again. Rourke looked around at the smiling faces of the colonists. Good, because we can't be everywhere. But now you know how to fight back. Epilogue. The promise as the humans prepared to leave, Selka stopped Rourke one last time. If another world calls for help, she asked, will you still answer? Rourke's expression softened. Always. That's what we do. The Iron Fang lifted into the sky, its engines blazing like a promise written in light. And across the frontier, whispers began to spread. The pirates who had once terrorized Ka-Toro told others of the humans who had come out of nowhere, who fought like no other species, and who left only after making sure the innocent were safe. The message was clear. If you call for help and no one comes, the Deathworlders of Alpha will.